step into the shadows of the UK's darkest disasters. Today, we reveal 9 haunting sites where tragedy still echoes and restless spirits refuse to rest. Discover chilling stories of loss, mystery, and the unknown. 1. The Great Smog of London, 1952. In December 1952, London was engulfed by a thick, toxic smog that lasted for 5 days, from the 5th to the 9th. This event, known as the Great Smog of London, was caused by a combination of cold weather, stagnant air, and the widespread burning of coal. The dense fog severely reduced visibility and made breathing difficult for the city's residents. It is estimated that around 12,000 people died prematurely due to respiratory problems caused by the smog, making it one of the deadliest environmental disasters in UK history. The Great Smog highlighted the urgent need for cleaner air and led to significant changes in environmental policies. But beyond the tragic loss of life, the Great Smog also left behind chilling tales that have become part of London's haunted folklore. Many locals report strange sightings during those days, ghostly figures appearing through the thick haze and unexplained whispers echoing in the streets. Some say the smog itself seemed alive, an oppressive presence that clung to the city long after it lifted. Even today, some parts of London, especially near the River Thames and old coal-burning neighbourhoods, are said to be haunted by restless spirits, victims of the smog who never truly left. Sightings of shadowy shapes and eerie mists are reported by those who walk these areas at dusk, reminding us of the tragedy that once shrouded the city. The Great Smog of London stands as a powerful reminder of the consequences of pollution and the importance of environmental awareness. While the city has since made great strides toward cleaner air, the stories of that deadly fog continue to haunt London's streets, both in memory and legend. As we remember those lost during those dark days, it is a call to respect our environment and protect the health of future generations. The ghosts of the Great Smog serve as silent witnesses to a tragedy that changed the course of the city forever. 2. Ladbrook Grove Rail Crash, 1999. On the morning of October 5, 1999, near Ladbrook Grove in West London, tragedy struck one of Britain's busiest rail lines. 2 trains collided head-on in a catastrophic crash that claimed 31 lives and injured over 500 people. The incident shocked the nation, becoming one of the deadliest rail disasters in UK history. The collision was later attributed to signalling errors and human mistakes, exposing serious flaws within the railway system. The disaster laid bare critical weaknesses in safety protocols, communication, and infrastructure, prompting urgent reforms that reshaped British rail travel forever. In the aftermath, families and communities grappled with the heartbreak of sudden loss, as well as anger and calls for accountability. Memorials were erected to honor the victims, standing as solemn reminders of a tragedy that shook a nation. Yet, the Ladbrook Grove site holds more than just memories of destruction. Over the years, whispers of strange occurrences have surfaced. Railway workers and locals alike have reported unexplained cold spots, sudden flickers of light, and distant train whistles echoing through the night when no trains are near. Shadowy figures are sometimes glimpsed moving silently along the tracks, vanishing before anyone can get a clear look. These eerie phenomena are believed to be the restless spirits of those who lost their lives in the crash, forever tied to the place of their untimely end. Their presence serves as a haunting testament to the disaster, keeping the memory of the tragedy alive beyond official records and statistics. Today, Ladbrook Grove stands as a poignant symbol, a place where progress in safety is tempered by the ghosts of the past. It reminds us that behind every headline and number lie real people, families, and stories deserving of respect, remembrance, and ongoing vigilance. 3. Piper Alpha Oil Rig Disaster, 1988. On the night of July 6, 1988, the North Sea was the scene of one of the deadliest industrial disasters in British history. The Piper Alpha oil platform, located about 120 miles northeast of Aberdeen, Scotland, suffered a catastrophic explosion and fire. Within minutes, the blaze engulfed the rig, trapping workers and causing devastating loss. A total of 167 men lost their lives in the disaster, many unable to escape the rapidly spreading fire. The tragedy exposed severe safety failings, inadequate maintenance, and communication breakdowns. The Piper Alpha disaster forever changed offshore safety regulations and industry standards, leading to tighter controls and emergency protocols. Despite the rig's destruction and the tragedy's scale, tales of haunting began to emerge from survivors and those involved in the rescue efforts. Fishermen and oil workers reported strange lights flickering near the sea surface where the platform once stood. Some claim to hear ghostly voices carried by the wind, and a few have witnessed shadowy figures on nearby vessels, believed to be spirits of those lost in the flames. Locals say the harsh North Sea waters hold the restless souls of the victims, forever tethered to the rig that became their tomb. These stories remind us that the disaster's impact goes beyond statistics. It lingers in the memories and folklore of those connected to Piper Alpha. Today, the site remains a solemn reminder of the risks workers face in hazardous industries and the importance of stringent safety measures. The ghostly legends that surround Piper Alpha serve as silent witnesses to a tragedy that reshaped an entire industry and lives on in collective memory. The Grenfell Tower Fire, 2017. In the early hours of June 14, 2017, Grenfell Tower, a 24-story residential block in West London, was engulfed in a devastating fire. What began as a small kitchen blaze quickly spiraled out of control, fueled by flammable cladding on the building's exterior. The fire spread rapidly, trapping many residents inside their homes. The tragedy claimed 72 lives, making it one of the deadliest residential fires in the UK's recent history. Survivors and families were left grieving while questions about building safety, negligence, and social inequality ignited a nationwide outcry. The Grenfell fire exposed harsh realities about housing conditions and the urgent need for reform. In the aftermath, the tower was sealed off, and a community of mourners gathered nearby, turning the area into a place of remembrance and reflection. Yet, amidst the sorrow, strange and unsettling stories began to circulate. Residents and emergency workers reported unexplained cold drafts and flickering lights around the site, even though the tower itself remains uninhabitable. Some have spoken of seeing shadowy figures and hearing faint cries, as if the voices of those who perished linger in the ruins. These accounts, while deeply haunting, are often described with reverence and sorrow rather than fear, reminders of lives lost and stories unfinished. The Grenfell Tower fire is not only a lesson in safety and justice, but also a poignant symbol of the resilience of a community bound together by tragedy. The whispers of the past serve as a call to remember, to learn, and to never allow such a disaster to happen again. Today, Grenfell stands as both a memorial and a warning, a place where memory, loss, and hope coexist. The stories of lingering spirits add another layer to the complex history of the site, connecting us to the human cost behind headlines and statistics. 5. Aberfan Disaster, Wales, 1966. On the morning of October 21, 1966, the small Welsh village of Aberfan was struck by unimaginable tragedy. After days of heavy rain, A massive spoil tip, an enormous pile of mining waste, suddenly collapsed, sending a deadly avalanche of mud and debris rushing down a hillside directly into the village below. The avalanche overwhelmed Pantcliffe Junior School and nearby houses, burying them under tons of sludge and waste. Tragically, 144 people lost their lives that day. 116 of them were children attending school. The disaster devastated the tight-knit community and left a scar that has never truly healed. Investigations revealed that the spoil tip had been unstable for months, yet warnings were ignored. The catastrophe exposed grave negligence by the National Coal Board and raised serious questions about industrial safety and corporate responsibility. In the years that followed, Aberfan became a place of remembrance and mourning. But beyond the memorials, locals have shared chilling stories of eerie silence in the valleys, ghostly cries echoing on misty mornings, and shadowy figures seen near the remains of the tip and school ruins. Many believe the restless spirits of the children and villagers lost that day linger, their presence felt especially by those who visit the site. Some claim to have seen small, fleeting apparitions playing near the memorial, or heard soft laughter carried on the wind, reminders of lives stolen too soon. Aberfan's tragedy is a haunting example of human error's devastating consequences. The village stands today not only as a memorial to the innocent lives lost, but also as a solemn warning about the importance of listening to communities and prioritizing safety. The stories of lingering spirits serve as a poignant reminder that behind every disaster are real people, dreams, hopes, and lives forever changed. Aberfan's legacy is one of sorrow, but also resilience and a commitment to never forget. 6. North Sea Flood, 1953. In the night between January 31st and February 1st, 1953, one of the most devastating natural disasters struck the eastern coast of the United Kingdom. A powerful storm surge, combined with high tides, caused the North Sea to overflow, breaching sea defences and flooding vast areas across England, Scotland, and Wales. The floodwaters swept through low-lying communities, engulfing towns, villages, and farmland. More than 300 people lost their lives. Thousands were displaced from their homes, and enormous damage was inflicted on infrastructure and agriculture. The disaster shocked the nation and highlighted vulnerabilities in flood defenses. In the aftermath, survivors spoke of terrifying experiences, the relentless roar of the sea, the darkness pierced only by flashes of lightning, and the desperate fight to escape rising waters. Entire neighborhoods vanished beneath the tide, leaving behind a landscape forever changed. But as the waters receded, strange and unsettling stories began to surface. Residents reported eerie sensations near the flooded areas, cold spots where no wind blew, sudden drops in temperature, and ghostly figures appearing at the edges of the water at dawn or dusk. Some claim to hear distant cries for help carried on the wind, or to see shadowy shapes moving silently along the shorelines. Fishermen and locals tell of phantom boats drifting in the mist, as if crews lost to the flood still search for safe harbor. These ghostly tales serve as a haunting reminder of the lives lost and the fury of nature's power. The North Sea flood of 1953 left a mark not just on the land, but on the collective memory of those who lived through it, and on those who followed. Today, the flood has spurred major improvements in flood defences, including the creation of the Thames Barrier designed to protect London from future surges. Yet, the spirits said to linger near the flooded lands remind us of the disaster's human cost, urging respect for nature's force and vigilance against future tragedies. 7 Senghenid Colliery Disaster to 1913. On October 14th, 1913, the village of Senghenid in South Wales became the site of Britain's worst mining disaster. A massive explosion ripped through the Universal Colliery, deep underground, killing 439 miners, men who had gone to work that day expecting to return home safely. The explosion was caused by a buildup of flammable gases and coal dust ignited by faulty equipment. The blast devastated the mine tunnels, trapping many workers and leaving rescue teams with the grim task of recovering bodies from the dangerous and unstable shafts. The disaster sent shockwaves across the country and the world, shining a harsh light on the dangerous conditions miners faced daily. Safety regulations at the time were inadequate, and the tragedy spurred urgent calls for reform in mining practices and better protection for workers. In the years since, Senghenid has been remembered not only for the scale of the loss, but also for eerie stories told by locals and visitors. Some claim the mine remains haunted by the spirits of those who perished, with reports of ghostly lights flickering deep within the tunnels and unexplained sounds echoing through abandoned shafts. Miners' descendants and visitors have described feeling sudden chills and hearing distant, mournful voices when near the site. The restless souls are believed to linger, forever connected to the mine that claimed so many lives. Today, Senghenid stands as a solemn memorial to those who lost their lives in the pursuit of work and progress. The haunting tales serve as a poignant reminder of the human cost behind industrial achievement and a call to never forget the sacrifices made underground. 8. Lynmouth Flood Disaster, Devon, 1952. On the night of August 15, 1952, the peaceful village of Lynmouth in Devon was suddenly transformed into a scene of utter devastation. After an intense and prolonged period of heavy rainfall, a catastrophic flood struck the village as torrents of water surged down the steep valleys surrounding Lynmouth. The floodwaters swept through the narrow streets with terrifying force, carrying away houses, vehicles, and anything in their path. The village, nestled in a picturesque location, was overwhelmed in a matter of hours. 34 people tragically lost their lives, and many more were injured or left homeless. The disaster was caused by a combination of natural and man-made factors, including severe weather and deforestation, which increased the speed and volume of water rushing into the village. The scale of the destruction stunned the nation and led to improved flood defenses and emergency planning in vulnerable areas. Yet, beyond the physical damage, the Lynmouth flood left an indelible mark on the community's collective memory. Over the years, residents and visitors have shared unsettling accounts of strange phenomena around the village and nearby riverbanks. Witnesses have reported hearing ghostly cries and wails carried on the wind during quiet evenings, as if the flood's victims still call out for help. Others speak of sudden chills in the air and mysterious figures glimpsed near the ruins of buildings swept away by the floodwaters. Fishermen and hikers in the surrounding areas sometimes claim to see shadowy silhouettes moving silently among the trees, or to feel a sudden, unexplained presence watching them. These eerie experiences have woven themselves into the local folklore, serving as haunting reminders of the flood's tragic impact. Lynmouth today is a resilient community that honors its past while rebuilding for the future. Memorials stand to remember those lost, but the ghostly whispers and strange shadows serve as a somber testament to a night when nature's fury forever changed a village. This disaster reminds us of the fragile balance between humans and the environment, and of the lingering presence of those taken too soon, whose stories remain etched in the very landscape they once called home. Night of the Big Wind, 6-7 January 1839. In the bitter winter night between January 6th and 7th, 1839, Ireland and parts of the United Kingdom were ravaged by what became known as the Night of the Big Wind. This ferocious storm unleashed unprecedented winds, reaching hurricane-force speeds, battering the countryside, tearing roofs from homes, and uprooting countless trees. The tempest brought widespread destruction to towns and villages. Countless homes were damaged or destroyed, livestock perished, and the roads became impassable due to fallen debris. The death toll is estimated to be between 250 and 300 people, making it one of the deadliest storms in the region's history. Survivors recalled the terrifying sounds of howling winds, crashing timber, and the shattering of glass that seemed to echo through the endless night. Many were forced to flee their homes as roofs were torn away and walls collapsed, seeking shelter wherever they could in the freezing cold. The aftermath revealed scenes of devastation, unlike anything seen before. Entire communities were left in ruins, with families mourning lost loved ones and rebuilding their shattered lives from the wreckage. But alongside the physical destruction, eerie tales began to circulate, adding a spectral dimension to the disaster's legacy. Witnesses spoke of ghostly figures moving through the wreckage under the pale moonlight, as if the spirits of those claimed by the storm still wandered the land. Some locals reported hearing strange whispers and mournful cries carried on the wind, especially on stormy nights or anniversaries of the event. Others claimed sudden chills and unexplained shadows appearing near the sites of collapsed homes, as if the land itself remembered the horror of that fateful night. These stories have become woven into the folklore of the region, serving as haunting reminders of nature's power and the fragile line between life and death. The Night of the Big Wind remains a powerful symbol of tragedy and resilience, a night when the fury of the elements forever altered the lives of countless people. Today, the memory of the storm endures not only through history books, but also through the whispered tales of spirits and shadows that continue to roam the lands touched by the big wind. It reminds us that even centuries later, some tragedies never truly fade away. Thank you for watching Creepy Experience. We've shown 9 haunted disaster sites. Now it's your turn. What do you think the 10th should be? Let us know in the comments. Stay curious and keep exploring the mysteries around us.